Hello and welcome back to Fist Entertainment. For our next review, first let's go ahead and do a little bit of dialogue. Do you hear that, Mr. Anderson? That is the sound of inevitability. That is the sound of your death. Yes, we are reviewing the Matrix films. Just watched one, so we're doing this over the course of 3 days, obviously. But first, to showcase the box set. This is the 4K box set, as you can see. Front, sleeve, and the back. I like the artwork on the back. It's kind of cool. Just come with their individual snap cases. But we're just going to be talking about the first one, and that would be The Matrix. A very cool exclusive artwork. The Matrix came out in 1999. It went down in history as one of the best sci-fi action adventure films of all time. Even has a little bit of a horror gothic element to it as well. I was blown away when I first saw this movie, and I'm old enough to where my first experience with The Matrix was a VHS videotape. Give me a second here, people. I want this a little straighter. But yep, VHS was my first experience with The Matrix. And all I gotta say is, I really enjoyed this movie a lot. Maybe a little more than I wanted to. You know, for years and years, people have been asking, what is The Matrix? So, let's go into the plot of The Matrix. And find the answer to that question that people have had for 21 years. Or something along those lines. So let's go ahead and answer, what is The Matrix? Well, this is the plot of The Matrix, which will tell you what The Matrix actually is. In the 22nd century, closer to the year 2199, as we hear from Morpheus, somewhere in the late 21st century, humanity got too attached to technology and machines that they gave birth to artificial intelligence that basically depended upon solar power for survival. When artificial intelligence became too advanced that it overwhelmed humanity, humanity pretty much caused a solar eclipse of some kind through some thermal or warfare of some kinds, probably nuclear or thermal weaponry of some kind, blocked out this sun from the sky. Which is the reason why you cannot tell what time of day it is, let alone what year it is in the future. Starving out the artificial intelligence that was overwhelming humanity. Somehow, because of his powerful abilities, the artificial intelligence found a way to enslave the human race by pretty much wiping out all of humanity, and then through DNA sequencing started to grow human beings in power relays to where they are human beings, but they are plugged into a machine matrix symbiosis of some kind, to where the human race has literally been reduced from natural-born humans into grown humans that are pretty much a human battery. And in doing so, to keep them docile, humanity is in a dreamlike state that is a mirror image of the 21st century, where everyone lives in a dream world that they believe is the real world, called the Matrix. And there's a prophecy that there is one who can exist in both the machine world and the human world, and can also eventually control the Matrix itself for the benefit of humanity instead of the machines. Prophecy of the One. Well, a young man in the Matrix, who was the hacker Neo and a respective software company worker known as Thomas Anderson, played by Keanu Reeves, has been having dreams that I've been having weird feelings, or just dreams or something that really was told in the movie, that everything around him seems a little strange. And this reality comes to pass when he meets Trinity, a mysterious female. He tells him that the one you seek is a man named Morpheus, played by Lawrence Fishburne. Trinity is played by Carrie-Anne Moss, obviously. We all know this. And they want to tell him the truth about what reality really is and where he really is. Which leads to the revelation that Morpheus thinks that he is the one who will liberate and save the enslaved human race from the artificial machines of the future. And then Neo, who obviously, some main name he goes by, Keanu Reeves' character, comes to realization that he, or Morpheus, will have to die to make the prophecy come to life. And Morpheus tries to sacrifice his own life to save Neo when, I guess AI police is what you would call them, but they're known as agents. They are programs, antivirus programs, that go into the Matrix that can assume the identity of anybody plugged in to the artificial world. Morpheus gets captured by them, and they're trying to figure out how to go to the last remaining natural human city in the future, known as Zion, to destroy it. And Neo goes into the Matrix to save him. And in doing so, does die, and then the realization of the fact that Trinity loves Neo somehow makes the prophecy come to life. When Neo comes back to life, is pretty much the one, and destroys one of the agents. And that's pretty much how the first film ends. Now, it's part 1 of part 3, so it really was never meant to be a standalone film in the first place. So, we will see more of the story unfold, obviously, tomorrow night with The Matrix Reloaded. Now let's go on to the quality of the movie, now that we know what The Matrix actually is. So the long question of what is the plot of this movie, I finally told you in vivid and very colorful detail. Now you know. Not so complicated, is it? Obviously the Terminator is a lot more complicated than The Matrix. But, you know, to each his own, I guess. And the quality of the film. Well, I watched, obviously, the UHD 4K disc. Now, I don't have a 4K player, but the history of The Matrix on DVD and Blu-ray, they made the film's green color temperatures that are supposed to make you feel like you're in the artificial world of The Matrix, that was used as a bit of cinematography in the film, was removed and replaced with a blue color temperature. with a very light green tint. That has been restored to its original green temperatured environments to make you feel like you're in artificial reality known as the Matrix, which is good. I would say the details are higher. Keep in mind, it would be better if I actually had a 4K projector or a 4K television, so I could really see even more with HDR and Dolby Vision. But that does not necessarily mean that you do not get benefits from watching the film in 4K if it's done the right way. It is done the right way in this film. I definitely have to say, I definitely liked the higher details. You can see much more than you could before. It has a much wider color. And it's just a way better looking movie in 4K. Now in the audio, since we're limited to 12 minutes, so let's go and make this quick. Audio is in Dolby Atmos. And I might add, this is one of the best Dolby Atmos audio presentations I've ever watched. Very demo-worthy. So much going on above your head and around a room. Very, very good. If you guys want a film to test out your Dolby Atmos equipment in the purest form of how far it can be taken at any volume level, this is the film you want. Because this one is definitely demo-worthy. And well, that's all we have right now for The Matrix. I will see you guys tomorrow for The Matrix Reloaded. And I hope you guys are safe and well, and I'll see you next time.